Hey, good morning from Stone Age Success. It's Andy here again. And, over the last, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I've really gotten focused on why people stall in their progression forward, whatever it happens to be. And it happens to everybody at certain points in their lives and in certain areas, but I feel it's gotten worse and worse and worse over the last few years. I mean, I'm sure COVID helped do that as well, but honestly it's been quite a while where I've really noticed a decline in people really pushing themselves to achievement. And so today I want to talk to you what I feel is the reason, what we need to do about it. So I know in my own life, any time that I've felt stagnant, not going forward, it's because I've lowered my goals so that they're easier to achieve, right? And so then it just becomes everyday goals that you're achieving. And that's not difficult to do. I mean, you're just whipping them off. And so really, it's like we're almost just sliding or drifting through life, just kind of in the same rut, doing the same thing, getting the same sort of results, and not really going forward. And the reason for that is no extreme challenges to our lives, nothing that causes us extreme discomfort. And by discomfort, I mean stress in a good way, right? Stress can be both a good thing and a bad thing. And in the way of achievement, stress is a good thing. And so in order to combat all of that, I think the first thing people need to do is stop setting participation goals. Start setting goals that push your limits further than you ever thought possible. And it may be that you honestly wonder if you'd actually be able to achieve the goal that you're setting. But make that goal. I'll give you a couple examples from my own life. I started out early on in life when I finished sort of competing in sports to just coaching sport. And I was coaching a team sport, but I wasn't, playing them with a team myself. So then I was looking for what can I do to stay in shape. So I decided that I was going to run 10K races because there's quite a few people where I was working that ran 10K events. And I was like, wow, I'll run 10K events. But for me, just running the 10K event wasn't enough to get myself to build a structure in order to succeed, right? Because honestly, if you ran slow enough, any single person here can go run a 10K event and succeed. And that's what a lot of people are doing. And that's okay in a way, but it's not enough to actually teach your brain to really achieve closer to what your ultimate potential might be. So I decided to set a goal to run a sub 35, and a 35-minute 10K, and I've never run a sub 35-minute 10K before ever in my life. And so it took a lot of I had to figure out what it would take to run a sub 35, not just the time I'd have to run per mile, but what it would actually take to train to get there, what I would have to eat, all these things, the specifics of the goal. When you set a goal, you need to know as much about that goal as humanly possible, as many details. Immerse yourself in the goal. And this is the key to setting a real hard goal, is you need a hard enough goal that you need to immerse, because then the rest of your life will alter to have to fit around that goal to go forward to achieve it. And this is whenever you see somebody having amazing results, amazing results. You're like, holy cow, how'd they do that? And you're thinking, well, how'd they fit the rest of their lives around it? Their lives automatically start to fit around it once they become immersed in the goal, because the achievement of the goal then becomes the driver to move all of those other things forward. So I set my goal, sub 35, and I learned how to train and eat, all this stuff. And all of a sudden, I was thinking, well, how am I going to fit all this in my life? My life started allowing to fit in. I didn't really change much, but everything started going to it. And there's a whole bunch of parts that lead lead themselves to that, okay? So the first thing is set a big, hairy goal, scary, hairy goal that honestly scares the crap out of you, but excites you at the same time, because that's the other part. The goal has to be exciting enough for you to achieve that it's gonna get you out of bed to do it every day, right? It has to be exciting enough to get you ready to do it every day, because it's not easy to achieve that big goal. It's gonna be hard work, and you need a lot of excitement to get that, okay? And at the same time, it needs to scare you a little bit to get you fired up to go get it, right? The thought of not being able to achieve it. So the number one thing is set that big goal. And I mean, a goal that you think it would be almost impossible to achieve. Only if everything works exactly right is it gonna happen for you, right? And make it an exciting goal, not just something you picked out of the blue. Second thing is start immediately. Don't wait till next week, next month. Just start working towards it while you're figuring out all the specific details about the goal. Start working towards it. Just start doing something today. Go for your first jog if that's what it is. Post your first advertisement for your business. Draw up your business plan, whatever it is, right? Study some more for your degree, whatever it is. Do something right now, today, the next minute, that goes towards your goal, because that is the little steps that it takes to get there, right? Every journey starts with a single step, but it takes a billion little steps to get there. And by doing something right now, you'll be doing something so small, so easy that you can do it, which makes success, which then leads you to want to do more, right? So first thing is build the big goal. Second thing is get started right now. Third thing, start learning all the specifics you can about what you're trying to do. Immerse yourself in what you're trying to achieve. Immerse yourself. Become the expert in that thing, all right? The same thing happened when I started to do Ironman. From 10Ks, I moved to marathons, and when I couldn't beat my PR anymore in marathons, I switched to Ironman triathlons. It was the same thing. It was like, what's the next biggest challenge? Something that is absurd. I wasn't that great a swimmer. I could swim to keep my head above water, but I couldn't swim the 2.4 miles that I needed to do an Ironman. And I couldn't swim properly. And I'd never really biked before, ever in my life. Doing Ironman triathlon was the first time I biked to school and stuff when I was a young fella, but I had never really bike raced, right? Never even ridden a racing bike before. So I had to learn all these things. I had to become an expert. And I did. I became an expert at fixing bikes, maintaining them, knowing what positioning I had to have, how to eat, how to drink. I made lots of mistakes along the way, trust me. And it was a continual learning process. But the goal was so huge, right? So first thing is set the goal. Second thing is do something today to go towards it. Third thing, learn everything you can. Become the expert. Fourth thing is tell everyone that will stand still long enough to listen to you about your goal and how you're going to achieve it and how hard it's going to be, etc., etc. Okay? Because putting enough people out there that know your goal, and some of them are going to laugh at you, some of them are going to pat you on the back, some of them are going to help you achieve it. This is part of the whole answer, right? It gives you huge accountability. I remember when I started doing Ironman triathlon, and I was working at quite a large school, and I was working with lots of young athletes, and I told every single person, all those athletes, all those kids, all the staff, that I was going to be doing Ironman triathlon in, I forget what it was, March or something, because it was Ironman New Zealand. And I told them what day it was going to be, and what my goal was for the race, not just to compete, but an actual time goal. I had a hard time goal. I wanted to bust 12 hours 30 on my very first Ironman. And so after telling all those people, it made it really hard for me to show up one day and say, somebody would ask me, did you train today? Oh, no, I slept in. That wasn't going to cut it, because they were going to ride me. All those young athletes, all those students were just going to pick on me all day long because I hadn't trained. So it's like an internal accountability. It's like having a gym partner, right? You show up for your gym partner. And that was the other thing I did, was because I told everybody, I said, hey, if anybody wants to run with me in the mornings to the cross country team and the road race team of the school, I said at 5 a.m. I'm going to be at the center of town at this point every morning at 5 a.m. If you guys want to come along and run with an adult so you feel safer, feel free to come down. So lots of mornings, I'd meet some students down there and we'd all go for a run together. Some mornings, I'd show up and nobody else would. But because I told everybody that, I showed up every day. Because I knew if I didn't show up, some poor kid would show up there and not be able to have an adult to run with, and not feel safe running at 5 a.m. So that makes you hugely accountable, right? So really, 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 put the word out there. And I know it's hard. It's hard to tell somebody your goals. That's one of the hardest things there is, because it's easy to keep them in here because we can soften them. We can lighten it down. Oh, well, things didn't go so good, so I'll just finish. Or, I'll wait till I can't make the date for this race. I'll do next year. Screw that. Hold yourself accountable by telling everybody that you're going to do it and then make it happen. And this is the part. Execution becomes part of your identity. Doing it every day, it becomes a self-esteem builder, right? Because every day that you do something towards that is an achievement, and that just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. And it might be that your goal is to build $1 million business this year. By whatever, tell everybody your goal. And so that'll happen. Okay, so we've got make the big goal. Do something to it every single day. So start right now. Don't wait 1 minute. Get immersed in it. Learn everything you can, and just keep learning. Altering, applying all of the Kaizen principles, right? Plan, do, review, plan, do, review, plan, do, review, so that you constantly get better. Tell every single person that you're doing your goal and, the outcome of it, so that they can all be there. The fifth thing, we're on fifth thing, right? Make the goal, immerse yourself, tell everybody, yep, fifth thing is find who your team is that's going to help you achieve. And that doesn't mean they're going to do stuff for you. It just means that they're going to be your ultimate hardcore supporters, the ones that really are there for you when the times get tough. Maybe you're having a bad patch when things just aren't going right for you, but make sure that you get a team surrounded around you, that are believers, because that matters. And nothing is ever achieved on your own. I don't care how individual a thing you're doing, it's always a team that gets you there. Maybe it's your partner or spouse, maybe it's your kids that are behind you, maybe it's your friends that are behind you. And if there's people around you that aren't with you, they're not on your team, cut them loose. Limit your exposure to them, because they will ultimately destroy you. Even if they don't mean to do so overtly, they will do it without even knowing it. They will destroy your goal. They'll destroy your achievement. So make sure you have a good team surrounding you, okay? And cut loose the anchors. I did this experiment at a school that I was teaching at, where I said, how much do you think you can achieve carrying an anchor around? And the kids were like, it doesn't really matter, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter that my friend doesn't support me. I said, it does. Think about it. Every time you go to see that person, if they're negative towards what you're doing, sooner or later, it's going to take you down. And that's part of the reason why social media defeats a lot of people, because they see all these things that they compare themselves to and they don't quite match up. So why try, right? Why try? I'm not going to get that body. I'm not going to get my business to be like that. I'm not going to do, and so why try? And that's the same with your close friends, right? You can either roost with turkeys or fly with eagles. Find the eagles. Surround yourself with the eagles so that you can just take off and soar all the time, okay? So make that big hairy ass goal. Definitely start right now. Don't wait 1 second. Do something every moment that you can. Do something towards that goal. Immerse yourself. Learn as much as you can. Make yourself the expert in what you're doing. Tell every single living thing out there about your goal. Post it all over your house on sticky notes. Make it your screensaver on your phone, so that thing is in front of you all the time, so that you'll be held accountable. Get a good team. Find your team. Make the team part of who you are and what you're going to do. That is how to achieve your ultimate goals. And then once you've got there, Don't stop. Set the next one. Maybe it's in a totally different area, but set the next even harder goal, bigger challenge. Make it more difficult, because only through ongoing achievement do you not get stuck. And you learn, your brain learns not to allow things to hold you stagnant, to put you in a rut. When things get tough, you'll be able to find a goal and get yourself out of it. So make these things happen. Don't be defeated. Don't stay stagnant. Don't drift through life being the shoulda, woulda, coulda person. All right? How to achieve. Let's make it happen. See you next time.